everyone, and welcome again to my channel, English One-on-One. Today, we shall be presenting you with an analysis of the poem Adam's Song by Derek Walcott.
Adam's Song by Derek Walcott.
The adulteress stoned to death is killed in our own time. By whispers, by breath. That films her flesh with slime. The first was Eve, who horned God for the serpent, for Adam's sake, which makes everyone guilty or even innocent. Nothing has changed, for men still sing the song that Adam sang. Against the world, he lost to vipers. The song to Eve. Against his own damnation, he sang it in the evening of the world. With the lights coming on in the eyes of panthers in the peaceable kingdom. And his death coming out of the trees, he sings it, frightened of the jealousy of God and at the price of his own death. The song ascends to God, who wipes his eyes. Heart, you are in my heart as the bird rises. Heart, you are in my heart while the sun sleeps. Heart, you lie still in me as the dew is, you weep within me, as the rain weeps.
The poem Adam's Song is a religious one that explores the themes of sinning or the act of sin, the desire for repentance and forgiveness. The poet juxtaposed the first act of sinning committed by Adam in the Garden of Eden against the continuous sins committed by men currently. Although the act of sin is not only condemned by the laws of God, Mosaic law, but also by the society, men continue to fall prey to its allure due to Adam's sin. Thus, through one man, sin entered the world, and so all are made sinners. Adam's song is a desperate plea to be forgiven for the act of sinning. Adam felt that he had betrayed the bond that had existed between him and God when he had chosen to disobey the command given. Adam had sinned, knowing the consequences of this action, estrangement from God. This realization of his immortality and his estrangement from his Creator had caused Adam to yearn for reconciliation with a deity who is willing, ready, and available to mend the relationship with him. The adulteress stoned to death is killed in her own time by whispers, by breath that fills her flesh with slime. First line is a biblical allusion to the woman who was caught in the act of adultery and was to be stoned. According to the Mosaic law, the sin of adultery was punishable by stoning. Although the laws have changed, society still condemns this act, and so the woman is killed metaphorically by the rumors spread about her. That fills her flesh with slime. The woman is deemed abominable, and so is treated with scant regard and contempt. Lines 5 to 8. The first was Eve, who warned God for the serpent, for Adam's sake, which makes everyone guilty, or Eve innocent. These lines make references to the first act of sinning. Walcott points to the fact that Eve was the first human to have given in to the deceptive devices of the adversary in the form of a serpent. However, Adam being the first human being to have been created and the one from whom Eve was formed, because he, the head, had fallen, Eve's innocence is questionable. Do you agree with this interpretation? Lines 9 to 12. And it reads, nothing has changed, for men still sing the song that Adam sang. Against the world he lost to vipers. In this stanza, the poet conveys the idea that the more things change, the more they remain the same. As men are still falling prey to alluring women just as Adam did. Consequently, men are still disobeying God, doing the same thing that Adam has done. This love for the opposite sex has caused him, Adam, to have lost to vipers, evil or unscrupulous people in the form of serpents. Lines 13 to 18. The song to Eve against his own damnation. He sang it in the evening of the world, with the lights coming on in the eyes of panthers in the peaceful kingdom, and his death coming out of the trees. These lines indicate that Adam knowingly had sinned because of his love and devotion to Eve. He was aware of the consequences of his actions, his death coming out of the trees. This statement reminds us of God's words: "The day you eat of it, you will surely die." The intensity of his love was so consuming that it radiated in his eyes and had caused him to be bold or confident with his regrettable decision. Lines 19 to 23 reads, he sings it frightened of the jealousy of God and at the price of his own death. The song ascends to God who wipes his eyes. Sings it frightened. This expression implies that Adam was petrified about his decision. He knew that God is a jealous God, therefore he does not want anything or anyone to be deemed higher than him. Therefore, Adam's betrayal had implied that Eve was more important to him than God. He was also perturbed, that is Adam, about the fact that he would eventually die. This acceptance of his present reality had caused Adam to be remorseful as he yearns to renew fellowship with God. His song of repentance ascends to God, who consoles him by wiping his eyes. Did you get that? I trust that you did. Lines 24 to 28. Art, you are in my heart as the bird rises. Art, you are in my heart while the sun sleeps. Art, you lie still in me as the dew is. You weep within me as the rain weeps. Stanza conveys the idea that there is a close connection or deep bond between God and man, which is portrayed throughout nature. It is an unbroken connection that is displayed through the bird rising and the setting sun. The very rain is a portrayal of God's love. God feels the pain that man experiences when there is a disconnect, and so is ready to restore once man seeks his presence. God has not forgotten humanity, nor has man forgotten about the presence and goodness of God. The first poetic device used in this poem is allusion. Biblical allusion is used in this poem in the first line of the poem, the adulteress stoned to death. The metaphor is seen in lines 2 to 4, and it reads, is killed in her own time by whispers, by breath that fills her flesh with slime. These lines refers not to a literal killing, but a metaphoric one that implies that the adulterous character or reputation is ruined. Alliteration is seen in the following line, for men still sing the song that Adam sang. The repetition of the S consonant emphasizes the continuous action or activity of sinning. Anaphora is used in the following lines of the poem. Art, you are my heart as the bird rises. Art, you are my heart while the sun sleeps. Art, you lie still in me as the dew is. You weep within me as the rain weeps. The repetition of the word art at the beginning of each line emphasizes the deep connection between God and humanity. Although Adam had sinned, he still can atone for his transgressions because God continues to care for his people. Themes explored in this poem are as follows. 1. The loss of innocence. 2. The act of sinning. 3. Betrayal. 4. Estrangement from God. 5. Forgiveness of sins. 6. Reconciliation. 7. Nature. And 8. Death. mood of this poem is a reflective one. As the poet Derek Walcott reflects on the first sin committed by Adam, he contemplates its own act of sinning and man's immortality. Do you agree? In this poem are as follows. One, all acts of sin or sinning is common to man. Therefore, no one is immune to sin, as we are all sinners saved by grace. The second lesson is that when one sins, it can result in feelings of regrets and remorse, which may cause him or her to feel estranged from God. Thirdly, there are dire consequences to sin. Fourth, God is readily available to forgive man of his sins once he comes to him in a spirit of repentance. Lastly, God is a forgiving God, a loving and forgiving God who still cares for man in spite of his flaws. Did you get those lessons from this poem? I trust that you did. And if this presentation was beneficial to you, remember to like, share, tell a friend, and most definitely subscribe. Please also share your comments in the comment section below. Thank you.